Hey all, Tom Weller here from forexreviews.info, and welcome to part 10 of the Price Action Trader's Mindset. Okay, in this video I want to go over trends once again, and I want to go over how the market moves. The market actually literally moves in waves, okay? And whether it's trending down or trending up, it's moving in, highs and lows, right? When the market is ranging, it's still moving in waves. So let's have a look at this and just see how we can actually assess the market and look at the market in a little bit of a different way in order to better understand the market waves when they actually happen. On a side note, and for all those people that are wondering, there are certain pairs that trend really well. And I've actually picked a pair I'm looking at right now, which is called the Euro AUD. And this pair has a history of trending really well, right? There are many pairs in the market. A lot of the Jappy pairs trend really well, and you can see this by it moving in long waves in one direction on the high time frames, and then long waves in one direction on that time frame as well. So when you're looking at the weekly or the daily, if you see these big, massive moves down of, say 500 to 1,000 pips in waves on these bigger higher time frames, then you can drop back to the 4-hour or even the daily and trade these time frames with these waves, right? With these expected average waves, right? You can get a bit of an expectation of the waves after a while as well. And in our previous video, in part 9, I went over Fibonacci. This is very similar to that. Okay, except we're not using a tool here. We're just looking at how the market flows. And in a way, you can look at it like a beach wave or a ripple in a river. And like I said, because this is what's happening in the market. People are taking profit. People are losing positions, and the psychology of when these trends happen and how people react. Right? So let's have a look at some recent moves here on the Euro AUD, and I'll move up to present time, and we can just assess different trends and different waves, right? As like Fibonacci, as we're moving down, price pulls back in that direction a certain percentage and then keeps falling apart. In fact, you'll probably find that this is an average Fibonacci move, but we're not going to go over Fibonacci in this video. We just want to look at the wave itself and identifying when possibly the wave has changed and how to know if it's changed as well, right? So let's have a look at this chart. First of all, like I said, I'm on the Euro AUD 4-hour because this is giving us some good vision of these areas, right? So let me just zoom in. Let me just pull the chart across here, and then let's look. Okay, price moved up in this wave, pull back up, and then we got the first bit of evidence just up here, where we got prices going lower. Not 100% yet to be convinced, right? But then when price broke below here and closed below here, it gave the heads up. Am I right? Why would this give the heads up that something was changing the market? We'd been trending up a little bit here in the past, price has been moving up, and then all of a sudden we broke below these significant support areas up here, expecting price to go higher. Why would I be expecting that now that price could be changing? Well, we got one lower high, and then we got a break of that lower high, right? We got an official break of it and closed below. Then when price moved back up to this low area again, let me pull this across. It formed a bearish candle, right? A bit of bearish price action right here. So this indicates to us that most likely the trend has changed and that we want to go short. Now, when you get a big bit of bearish price action like this, all you have to do is place your stop just above the price action, right? Quite simple, yeah? Okay, and we just go in the direction of the trend. Now, what I like to do as a price action trader is I like to lock in my stop loss at break even when we get to the low of the designated zone, the previous low of the designated zone, because you've got to remember, let me zoom in so we can see this a bit more in detail. If we're entering after this bearish candle here, right, and price comes down to here, we don't know if it's just going to bounce again at that designated zone, right? So I like to lock in at break even at these levels, right? And then price went a little bit lower, then we got a candle telling us to get out of the market, okay? Very simple selling procedure there, and we got the evidence that this is most likely going short. Now, what usually happens in this situation, when you get a pullback, it'll come back to this previous structure support, and it'll give another sell signal. And so you can just keep selling as long as the bias remains short and it does not break above this support zone. So let me get rid of this and draw it in like a support zone so we can get a bit of an idea. Right? And then when we finally break the low, which is what will happen just here, we expect price to not break below this low area, right? Which it did, it broke above it a bit, but that's what happens. It breaks above sometimes and then it'll pull back and come back right back in. Okay, so that told us that this was a sell situation, right? And then when we break below here, we usually expect the price will come back up to this area, which it did in this time. So let's have a look and see this in detail. It did a bit, actually it broke below and then it came back here and then price broke lower. Okay, came down here, price broke up, and where did it come down to? If you look left, it's giving clues. Look at this. This was a previous bottom here, price came up to here, gave a sell signal. Right? So now this is support here, price broke below support, so where do we expect to get a bit of bearish price action? Around here. And it did break above, but as it broke above, it gave a nice bearish signal going back below. Price came up again, broke below, giving a nice bearish signal to go below again, right here. And here. And here. And these are these waves that I'm talking about. Now, when price came down here, you can see that this was a bit of a low. So when it broke below, where do we expect price to come back up to in this downward movement? We expect price to come back up to here. And did it? Well, it didn't straight away, but then it flicked up here and it touched it right here, and then we got a lower move. Right. So when price came down to here, we're expecting, so you know, we get our position here, down here somewhere, where this told us to get out, one of these candles, bit of price action, right? And so we're expecting a pullback to around here, again, because it's moving up, or here, and then a bit of bearish price action, which we did get. Let's draw that in. Okay, just here, and we've got some bearish price action. Did not break below that bearish price action, however, and then price didn't go lower. So you would have been expecting that most likely price was going to break below this mark and keep going. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So if you entered a little bit earlier on this position, you would have taken a losing position. You know, trend's end. And then when price broke above this high right here, that told us to stay in the market, right? I mean, that told us to start looking for long positions because we'd broken above here, this important zone. And so now we'd be looking for pullbacks to this zone, right? In fact, you could call the zone to there. So let's have a look, like so. Okay, doom. And as you can see, price came back to here multiple times, but not really to the pip. Now that does happen sometimes. The market will come back close to these zones and not to the pip. But as you can see, it's a bit of a support zone. So you could say, okay, well look, let's have a look at this. The low here is, you know, 15 to 20 pips off, right? Okay, it's not much. And then you can see that this became the support, price break higher, and then came back. Yeah, so when it broke above here, you would be expecting a price move back to here. Now this is all long trades now. You'd be expecting a price move back to here. Did we get one? No, we didn't get one. Sometimes that happens, it don't get one. Price pulled back here, and that pullback zone up here became the buy zone. See that? Established trend, because we broke above. Okay. Now, when we're here, we're looking for a break above. Where are we expecting price to come back to? What zone? Now, these aren't exact areas. We're just expecting price to come back to this zone. Like I said, price came back down here. Almost looked like it was going to change trend, but then bam, bounced back up. Got some nice bullish price action, and price went north again. Okay, so it's using these tops as support in an uptrend, and it's using these bottoms as resistance in a downtrend. And that's a little bit about understanding the waves of the market, right? And you saw in a bit of a range, you could call this a bit of a range market, but didn't last very long, did it? Okay, so if we keep moving along, right, this being a top, this forming a bottom, this being a top, this forming a bottom, this being a top, let me draw some of these in. This forming a bottom, and therefore you are trend trading, right? And like I said, trends don't happen all the time, but when they do happen, they can offer multiple opportunities, right? And look how long and beautiful this trend went for on this pair just recently, right? Look at that, all the way along there. And we know that if we're buying this pair, we want to place our stop below the previous low in a trending environment, right? Why do we want to do that? Probably wondering. We want to do that because that's where we definitely be wrong. And because this is a lower time frame, this is not the daily, this is not many pips, guys. This is not much. Now, you can also, if you get a nice bit of price action, you can also place your stop below that price action as well, if you want a really tight stop. Right? And yeah, look, this was a high here. Did we get a pullback to it? No, we didn't. Sometimes that happens. But then look, we got a bit of a congestion period here. In here. And then guess what happened? Price pulled back to that. Right? And so in a trending environment, you know, like here, bounced here a little bit of a fake out, broke back below. It's almost giving hints of what sort of market is this? A ranging type of market right in here. Because price is moving down, moving back up to the top. So trading trend style here can be a bit, what's going on? Yeah? But even in this situation, trading in here with the trend, you'd still want to be putting your stop below the previous low, previous identified low, right? So in this situation, you could have put your stop here with this trade. See this one here to this high, and this high, and that would have ended up being a little stop loss. And then you would have identified that this actually is a ranging market after that. Sometimes we have to be stopped out to actually know whether it's still trending or whether it's ranging. Yeah, and it also depends on how simple you're keeping your trading as well. You know, a lot of traders like to make trading very complex. Let me tell you something. Complexity is going to keep you out of trading a lot, right? And it's going to keep you out of a lot of good trades as well. So try to keep your trading as simple as possible. Okay, so this is still ranging in here, until we know now that we need a break above or a break below this significant zone. Look left, right? So what happens here? And in a ranging environment, we can just sell at the highs and buy at the lows when you're getting some nice price action. And that can be good trades too. So we broke above here. Finally broke above, telling us that it's starting to trend again. Price came down here, giving a little bit of a lower low here. Not much. It's just a little bit of a pullback, but telling us because it broke higher, that tells us that it's a bit of a low. Then when price broke up here, it actually gave a little bit of a buy situation, tiny buy situation. And then we broke below again, indicating that the market is going back down. And then where did it come down to and stop and pause? Bam, bam. Okay? So this is predictable zones here that I'm identifying. Now we're breaking above here again. And the cycle continues. Now we're back into an uptrend. Price breaks above, pullbacks to here, starts bouncing here. We don't really have a significant bottom here to actually tell us to trade this. Price comes back down, and we do break below the low. So this is more what we'd be noticing, the break below. So now what are we looking for? Looking for pullbacks to sell into it, right? Okay, but did any come? No, not really. So we just wait until price moves along. Price comes up, price comes down. Price comes up, price comes down. All right, and then now we're getting higher highs again. So we go back into trend trading mode again, and we get one good trade out of it, and then it doesn't press higher. It's not pressing higher. We got a bit of bullish price action here, didn't go higher. It actually went sideways again, took another loss, and price went lower again. So when trend trading works, it's really, really good. But the trend always changes, of course. So that's just part of it. So I just wanted to show you guys the waves in the market and how you can see how commonly when price breaks above a high, it comes back to that high as support, comes back to that high support. See this? Support, breaks above, comes back as support, pushes higher, comes back as support, breaks above, and then you're putting your stop below here. Okay, and that's how you trade the trend when the market is trending, right? Just understanding the basic waves. And it's not a 100% success ratio, but it is profitable understanding these waves, especially if you're using price action as well. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed this video and this tip for the day, please show your appreciation by hitting the like button. I appreciate it, and it lets me know that you're enjoying this series. And part 11 will be coming out in the next week or so. So just keep tuned to your email or keep tuned to your YouTube account for that next video update. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and happy trading.